right, guys. We start with June 3rd, AEW Dynamite, which I did not get a chance to see. I heard, well, everybody liked to mention, the show was awesome. I have no idea. I didn't check it out. The first match was Paige and Omega versus what are these? The best friends, Kip Sabian and Jimmy Havoc.
No,
not best friends, roommates.
Roommate.
They don't have a team name.
So, let's see. Paige and Hangman defeat them. Go ahead, guys. I have no clue what's going on in both AEW or WWE at the moment. I'm like 2 weeks behind.
Okay. I mean, I don't like that this was a title match. I don't think Sabian and Havoc deserve that. I'd rather you kind of earn those. I would have preferred it be non-title. But besides that, I was okay with the match. I'm just curious, what's gonna happen with Kenny and Hangman? Like, who are the real threats here? I know best friends are creeping, but how? I'm trying to think. I don't think anyone's really ready. I'm ready for a big matchup. I don't know when it's coming because I think you have to. I don't want to rush to FTR. I really don't want that. I don't want to rush all the cool stories they're gonna tell with them. I rather them work with everybody, little by little, and give it 6 months before they win the titles or fight for the titles. I have no other thoughts besides that.
I enjoyed the match. They were teasing like Kenny and Hangman were gonna lose a few times. I thought they were kicking each other's asses, but I didn't think that they were gonna lose. To be honest, I did see some ring rust a couple of times from Kenny and Hangman. It's been a while since they've been on Wednesday defending the belts, but for the most part, I enjoyed the match. I kind of got to agree with Vic, though. I think it's about time that they disband the Elite. I wish they would have did it at the pay-per-view. I wish they would have tied it in and just disbanded it then, because at this point, Cody's not near them at all whatsoever. They teased Hangman and Omega splitting, and now doesn't matter anymore. It doesn't look like it's anything at all. And Matt and Nick are off with Matt Hardy, and now they're doing their own thing. So they need to disband the Elite, I think, and then have Matt and Nick maybe take the belts from these guys or something. But that's what I think needs to happen next.
Yeah, this match was a little weird, and again, I do, and Vic, I do agree with you, and I'm glad you brought this point up. Jimmy Havoc and Kip Sabian should not have been wrestling for the AEW Tag Team Championship. When I saw their collective tag team record being 3-1, one of the notes that I wrote is, any team with a 3-1 record should not be number one contenders or competing for the titles, ever. That's, you can have a winning record, but when you've only wrestled 4 matches, you've beaten nobody. Especially when there's like 15 teams in AEW. You've beaten nobody. So no, you shouldn't be wrestling for the tag titles. I agree, it should have been a non-title match. There's a couple of things I noticed about this match. I kind of find it weird that all 4 guys got individual entrances. You figure that with Sabian and Havoc that they would come out as a team. Just because of the fact that neither one of them are like big giant stars, you'd figure that if you package the 3 of them together, it'll be a better fit. I actually took a really good look at the AEW Tag Team Titles, and the first thing that thought to mind is like, these look like the old WCW Tag Team Titles. It's not a bad thing, but they just resembled them.
Yeah, I think all their titles are inspired by something of the past.
Yeah. So it looks like it just looks like the old WCW tag titles. I thought to myself with Omega and Hangman, there seems to be a very subtle, a very subtle nod to the audience in terms of who the star is supposed to be. Because clearly Hangman comes out and he just gets the normal, the normal treatment that every other Dick, Tom, and Harry gets on the show. And Omega comes out and he gets like this big main eventer entrance. And I'm like, dude, you're one half of the tag team champions. It's like, come out as a team. If you guys are part of the elite and all this stuff, to come out with separate entrances, it just seems a bit much. But anyway, that's just me nitpicking. This match was not bad, but there were just things that psychologically didn't make sense. For one, I was really surprised, and I didn't like this, that Kenny Omega did this. The fact that he literally stopped and started like literally complaining to the referee, like openly, just like almost the match stopped for whatever 5 seconds or so, while he's complaining to the referee that Penelope Ford grabbed his leg. I was like, dude, she grabbed your leg. What you do is you acknowledge it. You look at her. The heel comes running after you. You cut the heel off. And then what Penelope Ford does, she tries to come up and distract again, takes the bump, falls to the floor. You get a near fall. You keep the match spinning. Don't complain to the referee because, again, it takes your cool factor from like here all the way down to here. You're supposed to be a cool, badass babyface. Cool, badass babyfaces don't do that. So that's one thing. Kip Sabian obviously is like, dude, you might be naturally left-handed, but it looked really awkward when you're trying to throw Kenny Omega with your left hand because he didn't know how to move and you didn't know how to throw him. So play with the right. The one thing that I noticed in this match is that the cameras were panning and they showed the best friends in the audience and they showed FTR in the audience watching the match. Where are the Young Bucks? If the Young Bucks are looked at as, one of the best tag teams in the world, they almost seem like they're very indifferent to the idea of being the tag team champions. Elite or not, it doesn't matter. Your goal should be to be the champions. Why weren't they out there? Even if it's sitting far away, separated from everybody else, but watch the match. Because what AEW is subtly telling me is the audience member is that these are the two teams they should be watching out for. And FTR just showed up, and the best friends, with all due respect, I don't take them seriously. So, you got yourself a little bit of a dilemma. So to answer I think it was to your point, Chris, about the tag team title situation is the reason why in the last video when I said that even though AEW has a lot of tag teams, none of them are over. That's what I'm telling you. In a situation like that, you look at Hangman and Omega as the champions, and you're looking up and saying you might have a lot of tag teams, but the line looks pretty short for legitimate contenders. So there's point taken there. I thought that there was one point in the match where I really didn't like this very, very small, subtle thing in the match where Omega and Page were doing really bad tag team wrestling. They got the advantage, and they're just tagging each other in and out very nonchalantly and literally leaving Kip Sabian where he can just literally reach up and grab over to tag Jimmy Havoc. If I'm Kip Sabian, I would have made the tag even if it wasn't the spot to do. I would have done it anyway. Because I'm like, if you're not going to show me enough respect to try to grab me and restrain me and keep me from my corner, I'm not going to play along. So just don't.
I thought Kip Sabian and Jimmy Havoc out tag team the tag team champs in a few segments. And
here's the thing about it. As awkward as Jimmy Havoc and Kip Sabian look together, they actually worked pretty good as a team. Like the cohesiveness was actually there. So it's not a knock on them. They did a good job for the most part. But like I said, little things here. There was one spot where, Kenny Omega got kicked off the apron, and it looked like he got drop kicked, the biggest drop kick in the world. And it was just a simple, and he bumped like it was Shawn Michaels getting punched out by the Undertaker. It was like, no need to do that. It's a bit much. It's overdoing it. Well, really, Jimmy Havoc, you have to bring out a hacksaw. You had to bring out a hacksaw into the match. Really? Really? I know. Listen, I know that Jimmy Havoc you know, that's his whole thing. And Excalibur actually does a pretty good job every single match of saying that, hey, you know, he's trained in the traditional
Look at his face.
in the traditional, you know, English European style of wrestling, but he chooses to do the more hardcore stuff. You don't need to bring a hacksaw into the match, even if you didn't use it. Rick Knox, you're the referee. You got to disqualify him immediately. Immediately, you got to disqualify him. Like that was just so stupid. They were doing a good match. There was no need for him to do that. That was just dumb. I don't like the reverse Hurricane Rana. Even if the guys could do it safely, just stop doing it. It's dangerous. You're gonna hurt somebody one day. And then after Kenny Omega takes the reverse Hurricane Rana that should kill him, literally within 10 seconds, he's back up and making his own comeback. So not only so he didn't sell it, is what I'm saying. Psychologically.
Didn't the match end like right after that, or am I misremembering?
Yeah.
It was over like right after that.
The one thing that I will say, and this is a little bit of a knock on the referee, because Rick Knox did a very good job in the beginning of the match of counting and doing all the basic things that the referee should be doing in terms of controlling the match. And then towards the end, he looked like he just hung out in the corner and he was drinking a soda and having some popcorn, watching all four guys wrestle in the end. And I'm like, dude, even if the wrestlers ignore you, you still have to act as if you're trying to get control of the match. Mm-hmm. Even if the wrestlers essentially tell you to go sort off, it doesn't matter. You have to try, and he didn't. So that's a point deduction for him. Like, I looked up and I was like, you were doing a good job, and by the end of the match, I wanted to fire you.
Something with Tully Blanchard. He gave Sean Spears a glove. I don't know what this means. It means something about his old gimmick, or he's gonna be the next Michael Jackson. I have no clue. It was inside a limousine where they says here that he yelled at him and he said, "You need to figure yourself out," and then he gave him this black glove. So does this mean this is one of his old gimmicks? Is he going back to like the Perfect 10? Because, you know, Sean Spears, I've said it before, like, you know, he's really doing nothing for me right now. And it's not because I'm shitting on him. It's because, you know, the way I'm seeing he's being booked.
Yeah, the promo was awesome by Blanchard.
There was two different segments.
Apart. Yeah, they split them apart, but he screamed at him, kind of woke him up a bit, it seemed. That was good stuff. And then they end up in a limousine and he opens the box and gives him a glove. And what really kind of sold it a little more was JR and the gang talking about the glove, and bringing up that, you know, only like top guys or what have you wear a black glove. To me, that was a little shot at Seth Rollins, because that's the only other guy right now rocking a black glove that's killing it. That's how I took it.
Well, yeah, there were two separate segments, and I'm so happy they squeezed in that promo from Tully. This was something that was done online, and I saw it. And
yeah, I saw it the day before too.
And I was blown away. Tully did such a great job. This is one of the best promos of the year. And it's shocking because Tully has not been that good. You know, when he's been given opportunities to speak, he's been a little nervous. He's been very shaky with his words. Obviously, he used to be a good promo back in the day, but, you know, if you're away from the limelight and from television all those years, it's not just going to come back right away. But it came back in that promo, and he was fired up. And then the glove thing, this might be an old school thing. I know Wyndham used to wear a glove, and I know DiBiase used to wear a glove. And usually, if it was a heel wearing a glove, you know, there might be some shenanigans here. It might be loaded. So Sean Spears might be knocking people out sooner rather than later. And good for him, because like I always say, it wasn't his turn. It wasn't his turn. Now it's his turn. So let's see what he does with it.
I mean, this was, again, I'm glad, because if AEW, goes back to the same thing I said, you know, in the last video, you know, regarding AEW about putting too much of their best content online where they get a smaller audience. You got to put this stuff on TV. So I'm glad they put it on TV. the promo where he basically chewed out Shawn Spears was perfect, because it's exactly how I felt as a fan watching him over the last couple of months on AEW television. Extremely frustrated, expecting much better from him. And for a guy with his size, his look, his experience, he was acting like a clown. So I'm glad that Tully Blanchard, in character, chewed him out and began the process of straightening him out. Now, with the promo in the limousine with the black glove, this black glove is not, it's certainly not a shot at Seth Rollins. It's certainly not. What this is basically an homage to an old gimmick that was used a lot, particularly wrestling in the 70s and the 80s. This was a gimmick that's used for the heart punch. Usually a lot of heels back in the day would always wear the black glove, and generally the finish was the heart punch. So that might be the gimmick that Shawn Spears will get next, is that, they put it on his left hand because he's left-handed. He's either going to probably use it as a heart punch or a knockout punch. I think it would be cool for him to use the heart punch, only because it's an old gimmick that has not been used in so long. And if he could be able to establish it as a finishing move, that's cool. I'm hoping that this is the beginning of some really good things for Shawn Spears, because again, I've been highly disappointed with him as of late. Whether it's his turn or not, to cast a glowing light on him. The fact that he's been, literally out in the crowd clowning around for the last couple of months, no bueno. So I'm glad that, AEW is straightening out course with him. No matter how they had to present it, but I'm glad that they're doing it. So, I'm a fan of Spears and I want him to succeed. So let's hope that this is the beginning of something really good for him.
All right. Yeah. Let's see. Next, we got the big dude Cage with Taz. I'm guessing that this was a squash match against Shawn Dean.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes, sir. Yeah. Very much so.
Immediately after the match, I guess Taz calls out Jon Moxley, and Jon Moxley, coming out from the crowd. I still, with no audience, I find it weird him coming out of the crowd. Just my opinion. He has nobody to interact. He's the man of the bleachers. But anyway, he comes out and him and Taz just have somewhat, I heard, a great back and forth promo, and I guess he told Cage, I'm ready for you and you better be ready for me. Let's see if this match is, as good as people say that, the match with him and Lee was. So, I guess we'll wait and see next month.
Again, this is Taz, another veteran. I'd consider, a legend. This is how you use your legends. The legends in AEW are helping to get these guys over. They're not squashing them and they are helping them, This is how you should use legends. They're not coming out and embarrassing them. They're coming out, they're cutting these killer promos, and Taz even has gifted, beat him if you can, survive if he lets you, to Brian Cage, which I think is pretty cool. My only concern with Brian Cage is I'm not a huge fan of Brian Cage. And, how do you beat this guy? It's like you can't beat this guy. I don't know how you're going to beat him. I mean, you can do it, it's just a little trickery, but it's hard to book these guys like Ryback and Goldberg and, these huge, muscle-bound, scary-looking mofos that, should probably, eat everyone alive. But eventually there comes a time where you got to beat them, and it's always weird. But, I mean, I'm sure they'll find a smart way to beat them.
Yeah, to that point, it's a little concerning that they're throwing him right at Mox.
He might
Mox
win.
has to win.
He might win.
I don't think so. It's one of those things where, like I said a few videos back, you have a million guys that can't afford to lose. Now Brian Cage is another one. unfortunately, he's gonna lose. And now he sits in the back burner with Brody Lee. The one good thing is that the pay-per-view, whenever it is still a ways away. So hopefully they can build it up some more. But him taking a loss is gonna be a little concerning for me. I think WWE should take a chance as well. I'm sure we'll address it eventually. But I think this is the perfect time to just fuck it. If you want Brian Cage to just win it, go for it. There's no fans in the crowd. Take some chances. When the crowd gets back, you can put it back on Mox or whatever it is. But I think they should take some chances now before the fans get in the arena. And I mean, AEW fans won't boo, but before they boo the fuck out of whatever content you provided them.
Yeah, this segment was kind of like up and down. What I mean by that is, Brian Cage comes out and again, I'm loving the way that Brian Cage is doing his squash matches. I want to send a note, Lance Archer. This is how the squash match should be done. Like the way that Brian Cage is being presented is the way that Archer should come out. Brian Cage comes to the ring. He doesn't even let Dasha finish her announcement. He just gets in the ring and just starts beating the holy hell out of whoever he's wrestling. And that poor guy's got zero offense. That match went for 3 minutes, and I think I'm exaggerating when I say it's 3 minutes. I don't even think it went that long. Brian Cage just took his lunch, did every move that he could, beat him to show off all his stuff. Taz cuts the promo, and to Vic's point, Vic was right about this. Taz was fantastic. The one thing I loved about Taz's promo is that he called Mox out on the BS that Mox was doing the week before when Taz was cutting a promo, and he's sitting there smiling and snickering, and I'm looking at it like, whether Mox realized that or not, you're burying your next opponent. Because if you're not taking it seriously, then why the hell should I? The fact that Mox came out and gave a response that quickly, I did not like. Let the heels walk out with their heat. You don't need to bow up. You don't. Not at that moment. That was a mistake by AEW to have Moxley come out there and give a response immediately. I didn't like it. Because now you don't let that breathe. Let Taz go out and basically lay the challenge out, throw the Punk card down, basically tell you better get your act together, and then Mox can cut a promo either later on in that show or even wait till next week. Because if he's going to be on AEW Dark this coming week, because they announced it, let him have his match and let him cut his promo there. And then you know what you do with that promo? Then you show it on Dynamite the next week. Hey, here's Moxley's response. To have him do it right then and there, again, I keep thinking to myself, I'm like, damn it. I know that you're trying to be the badass babyface here, but what you're doing is unintentionally is that you're actually hurting your heel opponent. Because again, if I'm the heel and the babyface bows up to me, what do you think I'm going to do? I may not get the upper hand, but you best believe if you try to bow up to me, it's going to be on. Especially when Brian Cage is that big and that strong, he should be able to eat Moxley's lunch, and he did nothing. So basically, Moxley made them both look like a bunch of stooges being in the ring. It looked bad. I'm like, there was no need for that. Let the heels leave with their heat. Let them do it. No need for Moxley to come out there. It was dumb.
All right, guys. So the next one is a Lance Archer promo at a I don't know, was it a dump or whatever?
So it certainly didn't look like a 4-star hotel, that's for sure.
I mean, I guess I don't know. I guess they're building Lance Archer like he's on a warpath right now since he lost that tournament and didn't win the title. So I guess Jake has him maybe going back to his roots. I'm still very, very upset that he did not win. I was really rooting for him to win, and unfortunately he didn't win, but it is what it is. I know Cody's going to grab the title and run very, very well with it. So yeah, what's the situation in this promo?
Well, the good thing about this promo for me is that when you're pissed off, doesn't matter how bad you are on the mic, you're going to speak for yourself because you are pissed off. No one can tell you what he's feeling like he can. And, that's what he did right there. He showed you he was pissed. I believed he was pissed. And what I like is how Jake kind of sold it. Jake was like, "God damn it, he's pissed." Jake looks scared of his own boy. So I like how Jake kind of played up the monster gimmick, and again helped him, give him a little assistance without having to speak for him. He still had the facial reactions to kind of help him out a little bit.
Yeah, I always like these Lance Archer promos in a random field, in a fucking dump, garbage everywhere, just beating the shit out of some random poor soul. And then out of nowhere, an AEW commentator shows up at the perfect time to ask him how he's feeling. And he lets him know that he's been doing this for 20 odd years. And I loved it. What I love is that Jake looks like, oh, fuck, I created a monster. Like, it's Frankenstein. Like, he doesn't know what this dude's going to be capable of right now. And I hope that's the angle they go to, where Jake can't even, and they actually teased that a couple of times, where Jake tries to calm him down and it doesn't work. So I hope that's the angle they go, where Jake can't control him and he just goes berserk.
Yeah, this promo for me was I didn't like it, but I'll tell you why. One is, to Chris's point, where he's like, oh, he's just in some random field with some random soul. Okay, so first of all, why was he beating up Kalisto's little brother? Why was that dude wearing, a mass wrestler that looked just like Kalisto, just 30 pounds smaller? Why in some random field? Where did that guy come from? What, did he not fight? Just like, where are they? Did Alex Marvez did not just walk into some random field, just meandering around looking for the building. So that in and of itself is implausible and just really stupid. So Lance Archer cut a very fired up promo. And to Victor's point, you're right. When someone is pissed off, even if you're bad on the mic, you're going to be able to speak for yourself and it's going to come across. However, when I look at Lance Archer, I still don't believe that he's the Murder Hawk monster. I still think he's playing wrestler. He hasn't found it where it's coming from the gut. He's still acting. And it just and that's why his promo was not believable at all. Another thing, why was Jake the Snake Roberts concerned for Alex Marvez's welfare? Really? Like, why? Jake the Snake Roberts, for however long he's been on AEW TV, a month, 2 months, 3 months, however long it's been, all he's been talking about is how he came to AEW to take Cody's slice of the pie, and he's bringing Lance Archer to do it. And now all of a sudden he's scared? Like, what, did he not know what he got himself into? Like the whole premise of that promo, again, I understand the objective, but it made no sense in its execution. What we got out in the end made zero sense.
I was gonna say something. Oh, I don't mind the random field, because to be honest, I'm not even gonna remember it. All I'm gonna remember is the facial expression from Jake and the fear that they had in their eyes. To be honest, I'm not gonna remember the random field or whoever that guy was. He kicked his ass.
The reason why I look at it otherwise is just because of I could understand if it was in a camera shot and Alex Marvez is not there, and and it would have been Jake just recording and being like, well, kind of like saying, well, AEW, well, Cody, you got lucky at the pay-per-view. Try again. And just the fact that Marvez was there with a cameraman and they did like a stand-up traditional wrestling interview in that setting, ridiculous, implausible. Yeah. No reason. Like I said, I don't I don't want to be disrespectful to Alex Marvez, but I don't think much of him as a wrestling personality. He's just not very good in that role, but he certainly was not needed. That could have been done much more effectively if it would have been filmed differently and it would have looked like a one-camera shoot, and it looked like probably Jake Roberts or somebody else was filming it in their camera, like filming a fight happening in real life. And
somebody let Matt Hardy do it.
Correct. You don't need that whole tradition. So sometimes the creativity, this was just one where they tried and it went south, at least for me from a logical perspective. Julio, what's next, friend?
Oh, okay. Colt Cabana versus Chris Jericho with Jake Hager in his corner. Chris Jericho wins this match. Again, I'm not a fan of Colt Cabana, so I can't really speak on this match. So, what are your thoughts?
I had a lot of fun with this match. And again, this is Colt Cabana because he's a veteran. He tells the right stories at the right time. This was not a time to be funny because this is an opportunity to blow up in his mind. There's an opportunity for him to get a win over what a lot of people consider the top guy. Forgetting AEW, he's probably considered the top guy in all of wrestling. So he's in there. He's in there with Chris Jericho, who, is a legend, and he's trying to get this win because he knows it'll do wonders for his career. That is the story they told. Another story they told, you have two veterans. Colt Cabana has been schooling all the young guys all year long. Like, since he joined AEW, he's outsmarting everybody. But there was a really cool moment in this match where Jericho sets up Colt, throws his legs up, and there's that, like, what's that pin? I don't know what he calls it. It's like a Superman style. Like, he tries to pin him. He, like, jumps over him and pins him with his legs.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of his one of his moves, whatever. And Jericho sets him up where he threw his leg up there, like the way everyone else does. And when Colt Cabana goes for it, he kind of fools him and puts him in the walls of Jericho. So he kind of goes, "Okay, you're the veteran, but I have a couple of years on you," and he kind of outsmarted him there. So I kind of like that. And both guys got their shit in, but at the end, this is Jericho really smart, adding that Judas effect because it really can be landed out of nowhere. I did not see that coming, and Coke sold it good. That shit might have been a shoot. That shit looked a little too good. Jesus, that shit was crispy. But either way, it was a good time. Good time for me, at least.
Yeah, I thought it was a good time too. I enjoyed the match. I enjoyed the back and forth. I kind of felt like Colt was taking it a bit more serious, to Julio's point, where I'm not the biggest fan. Everything seems to be a little too jokey. But it kind of seemed like he was taking this a bit more serious, and you could even tell with his post interview where he's talking about his record. Like, he actually seems to care now. And then you throw in Brody Lee, who's trying to recruit him. So hopefully for his sake, there's something there. Because besides that, I mean, I think that would help him a ton. But I did enjoy the match for the most part. I didn't love his in-ring gear when he was coming out. It seemed like he had too many colors on. There was too much going on. But for the most part, I enjoyed the match, and I enjoyed the post-match more.
Yeah, this match was good. Don't get me wrong. From a technical standpoint, the match was good. The question that I had, watching this match and then at the end is, what was the business of this match? What I mean by what's the business of the match is, what's the purpose? What's its intention? What's the intention of the match? If they just want to have a good match on TV for the sake of having a good match, that's fine. But I think that this match actually did, it actually did more favors, believe it. It did a little bit more for Cabana than it did for Jericho. I'll explain why. Again, the first note I had to make before I start breaking this down is, please, Sammy Guevara, please stop singing Jericho's theme song. Just please stop. For the sake of anybody that has 2 ears and are not deaf, please don't, just stop. It was terrible. And terrible meaning,
it was bad.
Terrible meaning that it's not funny, it's not entertaining, it's just it's just silly and it's not entertaining. Don't do it. When Chris Jericho had Colt Cabana in the corner punching him, his punches looked like shit.
It looked bad.
Don't do it.
And then he gets in the camera, Tyson. It
Yeah,
looked bad.
yeah. They
was
looked
like
horrible. They looked horrible.
and he gets in the camera.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like again, it looked fake and it looked phony. Don't do it. Again, the one thing that I really don't like, this is a spot that it happens everywhere in professional wrestling. It drives me crazy when guys go out on the outside of the ring and they clearly are waiting for the person inside the ring to dive out on top of them. Because Hager and Jericho got together and they clearly looked like they were ready to have a cup of coffee together, waiting for Colt Cabana to jump off the ropes and hit him with the moonsault.
Which was a damn good moonsault.
It looked good. The one thing that bothered me is, and again, I don't care how graceful Cabana is. Cabana, you weigh 235 pounds. Take a bump, fall. Just
I don't know.
sell it.
That weight, he's gonna break something.
No. What I mean by that is when he lands on his feet, he can take two steps back and hit the guardrail. The guardrail can break his fall. The fact that he lands on his feet and then he just goes right on to the next move, it's like, dude,
he stood there like,
yeah, it's like, that's silly. You're not giving it any time to breathe. You're not giving it any time to really, to let that move simmer. That's the thing. I didn't like that. The one thing that I was watching this match, especially in segment number 2, I started asking myself this question, and I said, this is no disrespect intended to either of the guys, but if Jericho needs Jake Hager and Sammy Guevara, Sammy Guevara to a lesser degree, to be able to get an advantage on Colt Cabana, should I believe that Chris Jericho is a mid-carder or should I believe that Colt Cabana is a top guy?
Well,
I think you should believe that Jericho is the biggest heel in the business.
Exactly. Jericho doesn't care what you think or what you believe. He's already proved this when he faced Pineapple Pete. He doesn't do it because he needs to. He does it because he wants to.
Here's the thing. That's totally fine. But at the end of the day, I'm asking what is the intention of this match?
The intention of this match is to set up an altercation with Mike Tyson. That was the intention.
Exactly. And the thing about it is that if it takes him 15 minutes to beat a guy, with all due respect to Colt Cabana, who has been presented at best lower mid-card guy, and it takes the main event former world champion superstar, takes him 15 minutes in a struggle to beat him. Why should I believe at any moment that Chris Jericho would even be able to stand 2 minutes in the ring with Mike Tyson?
But you already know Chris Jericho, and anything that he does going forward. Yes, you've already seen. I don't think that what happens today determines everything. Like, anything can happen. Like, you know who he is. You know that Jericho is a main event guy. Like, it doesn't matter what he does in his matches. It's not like he's losing every week. He's really not losing at all.
Yeah, but what the point that I'm trying to make is that in the course of the matches, I understand what Chris is trying to do. He's trying to have good matches with all the guys to make them all look good and put shine on them. The thing about it is that the intent of the match is that if Chris Jericho is one of your top flight main event guys, and he's basically working competitive matches against lower card people, it doesn't necessarily raise the lower card guys' stakes up. It actually brings Jericho down incrementally, very slowly, little by little, but it starts bringing him down.
But he's been cheating since he got to AEW in every single match. He doesn't win fair and square in the middle of the ring, damn near ever.
Well, I mean, he beat.
So I don't think this really matters at all. He beat who?
I think he beat. If he didn't beat Pineapple Pete fair and square.
Oh yeah. But he cheats. Jake Hager's with him in every single match. They do this every single match. I mean, you're forgetting that he's not kicking anybody's ass. He's not dominating any match at all ever. He's sliming and cheating his way to a victory, and that's pretty much what's going on here. People have kept up with him in damn near every match, and he slimes and cheats his way to a finish because he's the main heel on the show.
I'm just
saying, I think that's what this is.
Maybe so, but when I see the matches again, Mike Tyson is not some Joe Schmo. What I'm saying is if you're trying to build somebody, and I know you don't have to build up Chris Jericho because Chris Jericho is Chris Jericho, but when he's having those types of matches, there seems to be, for me, it's like there has to be a little bit more. Like this match, I would have probably been a lot better with if is Cabana going to get his stuff in. Of course, Cabana's going to get his stuff in, but there has to be. It seems to be, again, it's a little too close to 50-50, which I don't think it should be. Jericho should only be working 50-50 matches with people who are at his level perception-wise. Perception-wise. Colt Cabana, perception-wise, is not on the same level with Chris Jericho. And the thing is that Cabana recognizes that based on his promo, and he's saying, I've been able to hang, but I can't win the big match.
Yeah, I mean, he's basically undefeated. He's only lost to Lance Archer and Chris Jericho. And he's won every other match. So I don't know if he's being – I know maybe you guys see him a certain way because – in the Indies, he was a comedic wrestler. He hasn't lost. I know you haven't seen him lose. I know you've only seen him lose to Archer and Jericho because he's only lost to Archer and Jericho.
But the thing is, I haven't seen him win either. Because if all his matches are on AEW Dark, they don't count. Have him win on Dynamite. Have him win on TV. Not on YouTube. That's what I'm saying. It's not again, I know Colt Cabana is a very good wrestler. I know he is because I've watched him for years. And yeah, the whole comedy flavor of it is like, yeah, sometimes I could roll my eyes at it, but this was not a bad match. Technically, it was a very good match. The thing is that I'm confused. I'm confused by the business of the match.
Yeah, this match was just Jericho mad at Colt for holding him back.
Oh, yeah.
Although there were 20 other people holding him back from Mike Tyson.
No, and they explained it, and that was very good.
Which was a way to also shine light on Colt.
All I know is that
and I was okay with that because again, I don't want to see the same guys every week. So if Colt can get his work in against Chris Jericho, who hasn't been on TV on Wednesday in a match on Wednesdays in a while, I'm fine with it.
I mean, as far as I'm concerned, I think that with Cabana, I would actually, believe it or not, I'd like to see Colt Cabana probably work a program with Brody Lee. This will probably be a way for both guys to get rehabbed to a certain degree. I don't think that Cabana should be a member of the Dark Order. I can't see him there, and it'll do way more harm than good. It's probably good to put those two guys to wrestle against each other in a program. That would be nice. I'd be okay with that.
I don't want to see him join the Dark Order either. However, I do want to see Brody Lee try to get him, like he did. I don't want him to stop recruiting. Right? That's his agenda. That's what you've told us. That's what the Dark Order does. I want you to stick to that. Even if you don't ever really get anyone. Right?
No, I don't have an issue with the Dark Order trying to recruit people. I mean, again, my position on the Dark Order has not changed, for a long time with AEW. I've always thought that the Dark Order is an underneath group. Even with Brody Lee there, he's not raising them up, and they're not lifting him, and they're not dragging him down, not yet. But this is an undercard thing, and if AEW is serious about pushing Brody Lee, they're going to have to reboot him, and they're going to have to separate him from the Dark Order. They're just going to have to do it if they're really serious about pushing him, because in this gimmick, it's not going to work. It's just not. Oh, and. Going to Jericho's promo at the end. I get it. I understand that AEW is TV 14, but if you're gonna cuss, make sure that there's some real passion behind it. I just think that sometimes when Jericho, starts cussing in his promos, it's a little too gratuitous, and I'm like, it's not necessary. You don't need it. When he said it yesterday, I just rolled my eyes like, why are you cussing? Like it's not needed. There's nothing there. As soon as Orange Cassidy came out, I was like, the whole Jericho worked a good match with Colt Cabana. As confusing as I thought the business of the match was good. They have a good match. Jericho's wanting to cut a promo, get heat on himself, and then Orange freaking Cassidy comes out.
Hey, Lou, you're going to love this. Orange Cassidy drew over 1 million views last week.
You guys a star.
I don't care.
Ratings don't matter.
Care. I don't care. I'm sorry. The thing is like, oh, he drew 1 million views on YouTube. I mean, hell.
No, not on YouTube. On television. His segment on Dynamite was the highest segment of the week.
Okay, now I'll have to remember who else was in the segment. Because if you're putting it all on Orange Cassidy, I mean...
Well, he's been pretty consistently the highest segment of the TV shows.
Well, then that tells me something about the AEW audience that, you know...
So they're wrong and you're right, right? You by yourself against a million people.
No, not at all. I just think that that's where the great divide is. That if wrestling fans look at that and say, oh well, this is the kind of stuff we like. Orange Cassidy perception wise comes across, and again perception wise, he's a joke guy. Perception wise, because he could probably be the greatest wrestler in the world, and I'll never know it because of all the nonsense he does in the ring. He literally walks into the ring and takes Chris Jericho's hands and puts them under his belt to be like, are you kidding me? If he did that to me, the first thing I do is I take the hands out of my pockets and smack him upside the head and be like, get the hell out of here.
I laughed.
Yeah, but that's the thing though, right? You guys are laughing, but at the same time, it's like, what do you again, damn it, what are you guys laughing at?
It's
like,
funny.
Again,
I'm laughing at him trolling Jericho. He's trolling the biggest troll.
And here's the thing.
Awesome.
And here's the thing. They did nothing to him. Nothing.
Because he's trolling them.
They tried. Lou, they tried.
No, they didn't.
Yes, they did. They went to attack him. He missed.
Yeah, and then he was right there in the first row ringside amongst wrestlers.
Yeah, but it's wrestling.
All the members of the inner circle come out, and nobody wants to go out after him. But it's just
75
and then
years.
His boys,
for the last,
his boys pick him up, and then they built the match for next week.
Oh my
I loved
God.
it.
Look, Lou. Let me.
It's just bad.
It's funny because you have an old school mentality, but you forget that it's not about the moves. It's not about all that. It's not about what he's doing in the ring. It's about that personality. It's about his character. Cool. And his character is over.
That's fantastic.
Get over.
I recognize that. And here's the thing about it. His character is over. But guess what? Whenever Chris Jericho and Orange Cassidy wrestle and that bell rings and the match is garbage.
But it won't be garbage. Orange Cassidy has not had a garbage match.
Give me a break.
Have you seen him? You said you haven't even watched the pay-per-views.
Yes, I have.
You told me that you have not seen the pay-per-views. You've only seen the most recent one.
So
Before
what?
That, you told me you have not.
I've seen enough of his matches. His matches are all the same.
You have not seen enough of his matches because he hasn't had
his match
against Pac. His match against Pac is insane. It's insanely good.
Listen,
it's so good.
All his matches that I've seen on television, including pay-per-view, have all been, relatively speaking, the same match. That's
every wrestler, Lou. That's Ric Flair. That's Hulk Hogan. That's John
Chris
Cena.
Jericho.
Randy Orton. Chris Jericho. It's the same match.
And think about it. All those guys that you just mentioned are all legends, Hall of Famer top guys. Orange Cassidy doesn't even come close.
Of course not. He's been wrestling for like 2 years. What do you expect? He's been famous for 3 months, 6 months. Lou, you can't have that as an excuse every time. Oh, a legend could get away with it, but nobody else can. Every wrestler does the same shit every match. We just structure it differently. It's the same 6 to 10 moves.
How the hell do...
And then, if a wrestler has 15, 20 moves, Jim Cornette and everybody else is going to be pissed off. Why is he doing 20 moves? If he does his own 6, 7 moves all the time, then that's a problem too.
You guys don't get it. You guys don't get it. Chris, I'll let you chime in, but you guys are not getting it. Go
I'm just thinking back of guys that get a lot of respect now, but don't get as... Like, a guy like Goldust. Like, we watched Goldust forever. What the fuck was that?
Goldust was fantastic. He was always great.
Yes, in the ring.
The perception was that he was a fucking loser, Lou.
No,
Goldust was a loser. That was the perception.
Suit with a wig and a gold mask.
Yeah, and here's the thing.
Everybody loved it.
Look back in the era. Let me tell you something. You can't the era of the WWF back in 1996 or 95 when he showed up, when Dustin Rhodes signed with the WWF and played the Goldust character. a lot of it was all these different gimmick characters. Dustin Rhodes was not going to show up on WWF TV and be the son of the American Dream. They gave him a completely different character. Yes, I remember when I first saw it, it was a really shocking character, and the fact that he did play the homoerotic character was really shocking for that time on television. But in no point, even with all the histrionics and all the character things he did, the wrestling that he did in the ring was taken seriously within context of his character. Orange Cassidy's character is over with the AEW audience. There's denying that.
Goes grabbing guys by the dick.
Again,
and slapping them in the face. Nobody was taking him serious back then. He was a comedy act for half of his fucking WWF career.
He wasn't, because he was a heel. He was a heel.
When he was a heel, it was great. When he wasn't, it was a fucking joke.
Well, yeah, I mean, yeah, of course, but that's the evolution.
He was kicking guys in the dick in the corner.
Yes, yeah, and that was the evolution of his character. And yes, he had moments where his character was really, really bad. I'm not going to say that his entire run was fantastic. There were moments where
and we love him now. Is all I'm saying.
But the thing is with Dustin Rhodes, I mean, Dustin Rhodes, you're talking about an entire body of work, and even over the last 5 or 6 years, this includes his last run in WWE, was awesome, even as the Goldust character. Yeah, he had periods in that Goldust character where it got really off the rails in many ways, and his work was not good. But I
think we need to give this kid a shot the same way we gave Goldust a shot for 30, 40 years.
I want to give. Let me tell you something. With Orange Cassidy, I want to be able to give him a shot. It's all a matter that from what I've seen over the last however long AEW's been on TV, a lot of what Orange Cassidy is, this is a matter of a cult of personality. People love his character and they're all into it. But at the same time, I'm waiting for the moment where Orange Cassidy can actually give me reason to be like, this guy's pretty good. I want to believe in him. But so far what I've seen is just a lot of eye-rolling things for me. That
I don't know. I think it seems like when I see it, I'm like, holy shit, did he just do that? I'm like, okay, they're playing this guy as if he's not taking it seriously. But when he does take it seriously, he's kicking ass. Okay, let's see what happens. That's how I'm seeing it.
Look,
I've yet to see him really take it seriously, to be honest with you.
And I'm okay with that.
You know what he does take serious?
I'm not.
He does it.
It's a combat sport. You got to be taking it seriously if you know somebody's coming to beat you up.
Yeah, like what he did when he fought Pac on pay-per-view, which I know you didn't watch.
No, I didn't see that match.
I don't think – I mean, maybe you'll just never like it, which is fine. But that match for me was incredible. It was incredible. Like, first of all, he sticks to his gimmick. Like a lot of people don't. In and out of the ring. He does not break character. So he's keeping kayfabe. Anyway, we're taking too long with this. What's next, Julio?
Okay. Anyway. All right. Britt Baker, she was doing some training. She was at a training facility in a wheelchair, grabbing weights or whatnot. I don't know. Is this a sign of her like working out to come back, stronger than ever, I guess? Or it's like a little comedy skit or whatever it is?
This was Britt Baker is so I don't know how she's doing. I don't know where all of this came from, but this had me dying. I'm not a huge Britt Baker fan. That's how I know this was funny, because I was dying. Yeah. It's just she's into it. She sells it. She makes you believe that this is really what I'm doing. I'm gonna come back with my 1 pound weight and I'm gonna be the best. And there's nothing anyone can do about it.
I'm rehabbing my leg, but not really.
Yeah, but not really. This was really funny, and it adds to a character. I'm sure all the baby faces were like, this bitch. And that's really what she has to continue to do. If she can't wrestle, hey, keep pissing everybody off and not, not taking it serious and pretty much shitting on everybody else. Hey, she's staying over in my eyes, even with the injury.
Yeah, it was funny as shit.
I mean,
her just trolling, just picking up the weight. Doctor, you see the doctor's face. He's not happy with her.
He's frustrated.
It was funny.
He was so frustrated. He's so pissed off. He's like, this bitch.
This was that. You know what? The thing about it is that this was completely silly, but that was the intention of it, and it was the entire intention of the interview, just or the video package. it was completely intended for Britt Baker to be a heel in or her training. The only thing that she needed to have was like a pint of ice cream while she's doing it. That would have probably been funnier. But
yeah.
but the thing that really got me to crack up, and I cracked up when she's trying to go up the ramp and she's struggling, and then Shivani comes out, and then and he's motivating her, and she goes up. Like I said, all of this
Yeah,
stuff.
Shivani, that I did not see that coming. That popped me. Yep.
That was funny. I think really it's with the Britt Baker character. Yeah, this is a good utilization. Again, it's silly, it's silly and dumb, but that's what it was intended to be. It's not intended to be serious at all. It's whatever. It was good. I'll take it for what it was.
All right. Up next, sorry, you guys gonna have to help me with this girl's name. Nyla Rose versus
Big Swole.
I can't pronounce that name. I'm sorry.
Like swollen.
Okay,
like swollen.
Whatever. Yeah. I guess Nyla Rose wins this one. I don't really know much about this girl. I know about Nyla Rose and how much of a badass she is. So I don't know. What are you guys?
I don't know if I was ready for this match just yet. I think Nyla Rose needed to beat up a few people, a few jobbers for a month before we get her. Because Big Swole has potential, so I don't want her to be the one fed to Big Swole. I think, let's keep Big Swole, this could be a feud, but why now? Like, I don't know. It's too early. I would have waited.
Yeah, they probably should have kept them away because I really like Big Swole. And I would like her they were teasing her cracking the top 5, but now I don't know what happens with that because she lost. I would like her to be in that top 5 and competing for the belt because she was killing it. I actually enjoyed the match. Big Swole was busting out all the moves. It was awesome. I just don't love when, and I get it because it's Nyla Rose, but I don't love when you're getting your ass kicked, and I saw that on NXT. You're getting your ass kicked the entire match. You land one move, it's over, good night. I get it with Nyla Rose, but usually I'm not a fan of that. I like a little – if you're not going to work 50-50, 70-30, I don't know, especially for Nyla Rose.
Well, yeah,
I did enjoy –
I don't think Nyla should be getting her ass kicked all match, for sure.
Yeah. I did enjoy – the post-interview with Big Swole, and then, of course, her interaction with Britt Baker, which was great, and hopefully sets up a feud between them to get Big Swole to the next level. But, I mean, overall, I enjoyed the match. I just didn't love Nyla getting her ass kicked the whole match, landing one move, and let's get out of here.
Yeah, this match was I thought this match was bad for a couple reasons, and you guys pointed them out already. This match should have never taken place. In all honesty, AEW has done a fantastic job of taking probably the most marketable female on their roster in Nyla Rose and basically having her bump and throw herself around for every single woman on the AEW roster. Why? Just why? Come on, man. If you call her the Beast and she's 5'8", 5'9", she goes 2 1/4 to be generous. She's bigger and stronger than everybody else. Why the hell is Big Swole wrestling a 12-minute match with her and she's on offense for 9 of them?
Mm-hmm.
Like seriously, what was the point of the match? If the point of the match is to try to get Big Swole over by having her have a good offensive performance, but she gets beat by 2 moves, then you defeated the point. Nyla Rose wins a match. She looks horrible because she got beat up for 3/4 of the match. Then she hit 2 moves. Looked like she got out of there luckily.
Skin out teeth.
Then you know who gets the post-match interview? The person who lost. How stupid is that? Again, the way that you book this is you have Big Swole wrestle against, female wrestler X. Have Big Swole beat her. Beat her in 2 minutes, 3 minutes. Get your stuff in. Then have the interview. No interaction with Britt Baker. And the only reason why I say this is because Britt Baker's injured and she's going to be out for the next several months. There's no payoff.
She probably shouldn't even be there after you show the promo. She probably shouldn't have been there.
All I'm saying is that interaction was stupid. They're trying to do too much in that one segment, and it actually ended up just being a big mishmash. Again, Nyla Rose, the fact that she lost to Hikaru Shida, again, that was silly. The fact that she won this week, but she looked bad in doing so. Does AEW have a problem in just, having these women work squash matches on Dynamite and have their profiles be built to where you can get these two women back in the ring 2 months from now and then have a competitive match? But Big Swole, they're like talking about, she hasn't been on TV for 2.5 months, and yet you have her work a competitive, where she's on offense 80% of the match against the former women's champion who just lost the title. It's stupid. It makes no sense.
I don't know if this speaks to the. Go ahead.
If you're trying to get Big Swole over at the expense of Nyla Rose, something's wrong. Something's wrong. Nyla Rose has to be protected because she is the most marketable female you have on your roster right now until Britt Baker comes back. And with all due respect, Britt Baker is not a Charlotte Flair or Sasha Banks or anybody else that has so much equity that she could get her ass kicked by everybody and not get hurt by it. She does not have enough equity to have that happen. Please stop. It was just dumb.
I think you hit the nail on the head with the equity. I think that's the other issue that they're probably having is their female roster doesn't have much equity. I think there's been a struggle. I don't know if it's because of the pandemic that they're missing a lot of ladies, but I think it's been a struggle for them of late with the women's division.
All right, gentlemen. So up next we have our friends FTR. I'm not sure what their is it Dax Harwood and Dash Wheeler, right? I want to get their AEW.
It's gonna take me a while to get them.
I'm still Cash Wheeler.
Cash Wheeler. Thank you. See, I'm still with Dash and listen. I'm still with Dash and Dawson. Those are their Christian names as far as I'm concerned. So
I'm there with you.
If you see
Cash Wheeler is a new stripper name.
Yeah. Oh well. You tell him that. Well, they're cutting. They're doing a sit down interview with Tony Shivani. So just want to get your reactions and see how this looked for you.
Well, first of all, Tony needs to do all the interviews. I love Tony Schiavone's interview style. I don't know. Did he always have this in him? Did he do interviews back in WCW? I don't remember, but
not as many. But I think that at this point his best skill set for AEW has shown that in this area doing the interviews, that's been his best.
It's that he's like it's like it's hard to be an interviewer and to like kind of control the situation and not come off like a loser or like a robot, like or someone who's really not that important. Why are you interviewing me? I don't even know who the hell you are. And you don't get that with him. It's like it feels really important when he's interviewing you. But either way, I like what FTR is doing. I know we were talking about who's going to be the face if they were to meet the Young Bucks, who's going to be the heel. FTR is telling you straight up, we're going to play into this. They did a similar thing in NXT, but I think now they're given a little bit more freedom. They're going to play into this thing. The all the indie stuff, they're going to bury it. They're going to bury they're going to bury everything that isn't considered traditional. They even went to go do the Cornette podcast. I didn't listen to it, but I think that's funny because Cornette has heat with everyone in AEW. So I think this kind of plays up what they're trying to accomplish, and it's a really good idea. It's really well done. Yes, yes. They're doing it. It's subtle because they're not saying anything.
Subtle.
It's super subtle, which is better. It's better than whatever. It's saying right here the Knicks suck or whatever. Bashing a sports team.
The worst
it's subtle.
city I've ever been in.
It's like throwing little jabs, little things here and there that you might not notice, and they're saying it. They're very calm. They're not getting fired up. They're like, hey man, like it's all good. We're just Like we respect everyone. Yeah, everything's great. I mean, these guys they got to learn how to wrestle or whatever, or these guys got to learn how to tag in. But but everybody they're great though. They're sneaking in all the little heel shit. I like this. I like what they're doing. I really like it. I cannot wait. I cannot wait.
Yeah, they came off super condescending, snobby, stuck up.
Yeah, and it's all done like they're talking to you in a positive way almost, but it's like it's all underhanded. It's like, what the wait, like what are these guys up to?
Mm-hmm.
Are they nice or are they not? But I like it, man. I like that they're getting right into it. They're not wasting any time. Good for them.
Then, of course, with the name reveal at the end, they all stand up to and then Tony Shivani's like, yo, what does this stand for? I thought it was fucked up.
And they bleeped
out everything.
I love that. Because what's funny? I've been watching the best of Cody saying "fuck the Revival." Cody was so creative on being the Elite and even on Ring of Honor shows, just sneaking in "fuck the Revival," and it was this running joke. So, but another smart thing they did is embrace the FTR. Take something that's supposed to be negative and turn it into a positive. That's all smart shit, man. These guys are really smart. And of course, if that question comes from anybody else, no one else could pull that off like Tony did. I thought FTR, man, fuck the Revival. That was so funny, man. That was so good. And they set up a match. Did they say if it was going to be next week?
Next week, yeah.
With the Butcher and the Blade. So, that's we're getting started. That's exactly what I want to see. Let's start knocking out these tag teams. But this feels important already. Butcher and the Blade, they made a big deal out of this match that they're gonna have. Like, they told the story. We're getting there. We're gonna have this match. That's gonna be one and done. Probably, and then we move on to the next team, and we'll see where it goes from there. But I like it.
Agreed. I could do without Butcher and the Blade just showing up to the random building where
these are not. But that was not a random building. They were inside of Daly's place in the lobby. You saw Jaguars. You saw the Jaguars thing. Yeah, there was a Jaguar.
All right, I missed it. It looked like a 5-star hotel to me. I'm like, coming out of this.
Well, remember, they have all these things connected. They have the stadium and Daly's place and a bunch of shit like surrounding the area.
Right. So I missed that. So in that case,
it has the entire city of Jacksonville. It's it's an underground city. You go through Daly's place, you can go through the whole city of Jacksonville.
It feels that way, but it's really just a big ass fucking stadium, and then you have Daly's place right across the street. And they're connected, which is dope. That's fire.
Oh, yeah.
The Khans got some money.
I mean, yeah, go ahead, Chris. You got any comments? Or?
Oh, no. All good.
Yeah,
I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I mean, this promo right here, boys and girls, is why FTR, without having wrestled a single match in AEW, are the best tag team in AEW. They have not wrestled a single match, and they're already the best tag team in the company. Already. Look what they did. Tony Shivani sits down in a lobby. And of course, yes, Tony Shivani did an outstanding job here. He really, really did. He sits down with Dash and Dawson. I'm sorry, it's going to take me a while. Sorry, guys, I'm going to call them by their Christian names. So they sit down there and they basically ask him, why do you come here? And they basically say, we're here to wrestle against the best tag teams in the world. And then they proceed to piss on every single team that came out of their mouth. It's perfect. They're being this. Heels. Besides MJF, AEW has no heels. None. Dash and Dawson, with that promo last night, showed that they're heels. It was perfect. They got introed. They told you what their purpose is, and now they begin their conquest. Butcher and Blade come out. Don't like the fact that they came out. I thought that was silly. And number two, I don't like the fact that they have these white. They look like these dudes that are like hanging out in South Beach. I'm like,
what happened to their gimmick?
I think the reason
black leather and all of that.
I think what
that's
happened
their street clothes look.
They filmed that gimmick in their street clothes, But at the same time, I don't like the fact that they both were dressed in white. I just think that if you're gonna, even if they're gonna wear street clothes, let it be a little closer to what their gimmicks would reflect. A little close. It doesn't have to be like gimmick costume, but something a little closer. They look like two guys, like two guys hanging out in South Beach. It's just it was stupid.
They look like two nice guys.
When they came out, and they come from the upstairs, they go down this really picturesque staircase, and then you see like all these dudes. None of them look like officials. None of them look like they could be able to stop anyone from getting in a physical altercation. And yet the Butcher and the Blade, these two big, bulky, strong guys are being held back by, 6 or 7 very small men.
That I did like. But let me tell you, I hate when in WWE they prolong the back and forth segment, 30 dudes holding you back, you get through it. No. I hate that. What I really liked about that is how FTR just walked away.
Yeah. Because here and what's the promo that they cut? Hey pal,
next week.
This isn't personal. This is business. It's clearly personal to you. So if you want to take it up, we'll do it like businessmen in the ring. Mm-hmm. And then they proceed to toss the water in his face, disrespecting them, causing them to get their feathers all ruffled again. And then both guys walk away. Mm-hmm. That's perfect. That's perfect. Now the thing that makes this really weird is the fact that the Butcher and the Blade have been presented as heels, even though now it's a heel versus heel match. Even though the Butcher and the Blade, again, they're kind of like in that nondescript role because you can just kind of place them anywhere because AEW has done a great job of telling us who's who. But if FTR, I'm going to try here. If FTR are going to be heels, then this is a good first match. It's going to be physical. What I'm hoping for here is that it's not a 50-50 match. It cannot be a 50-50 match because if it is, it's actually not doing any favors to any of the 4 guys. Because Butcher and the Blade are not being presented as top talents. No disrespect to them. And if FTR works a 50-50 match with them, their debut actually took some of the steam off of them already. FTR has to win. All right, so now we go to the main event. We have, I'm not sure how I should call him. I don't know if it's Jungle Boy Jack Perry, Perry Jungle Boy.
It's only JR that calls him by that full long-ass name. Only JR, no one else. It literally says Jungle Boy on the TV.
So we got Jungle Boy challenging the American Nightmare Cody for the TNT Championship. This is the first of Cody's weekly championship matches. I'll let you guys start before I give comment here.
Well, I really like the story that was told here. This is, it starts off, everything is all good, but once Jungle Boy gets a little bit of offense, Cody's like, oh shit, I better step it up. And once Jungle Boy realizes I can win this, he fires up and he's like, I'm not gonna take it easy on you because you're bleeding. I gotta win this. The title is more important than me being a babyface right now. We could be friends after, but right now I'm gonna try to kill you. So I really like how that was told. I thought the match was really good. I didn't see anything that was glaring for me. I know a few times where Cody has gotten color, it's taken too long, in my opinion. Like it's taken like 75 seconds for him to do business. But this time it didn't feel that way. It felt like, they cut away from it for like 10, but felt like really quick.
And then you were watching MJF cut a minute long promo on Jungle Boy. That's why.
They used the MJF as a distraction, which makes sense.
MJF perfectly.
MJF tells you, we all know that Jungle Boy and MJF do not get along. So MJF gives him a piece of his mind, and right away, there it is. The business was done. No red flags. So I think. That was cool. I like afterwards, they embrace and, it's all good. We almost killed each other, but, we were doing it for the title. So it made the title feel real important. And like Cody said in his promo last week, judge him by what he's about to do, because he's about to go on this crazy run, and that's a good start. Because I believe it. I think he's gonna, and I think that's why they gave it to him instead of Lance Archer. If this is what they want the title to be, like when Arn Anderson was the television champion, go out there, tear the house down, tear the house down every night. I mean every week, on television.
Right the first time, every night.
Yeah, probably for Arn it was every night, but
you got it right the first time.
Yeah, but yeah, go out there, tear the house down, and show what you can do. Bell to bell, which is what the company said it's all about. So, I thought it was solid, really good stuff.
Yeah, I enjoyed the match as well. Solid back and forth. I thought Cody kind of teased a little heelish a few times early on in the match with some of the stuff he was doing. I'm like, okay, that's a little dirty, but all right. A lot of big spots. Obviously, the blood spot, and then the table spot, which I wasn't expecting on a Wednesday night. Probably could have done without it because those boys were back up on their feet literally right after. I'm just like, okay, guys. You literally just went through a table from like 12 feet up, damn near died. Just sit and chill. Let's go to commercial or something. They literally got up immediately right after. That was probably the only issue I had with the match. Besides that, I enjoyed the match. And I enjoyed them cutting to Arn Anderson, and the look on his face, his eyes were like crazy. Like he really thought Cody was in trouble. Obviously, the MJF segment, little kerfuffle was perfect right there. Reminding you that these kids are gonna go at it for the next few years or whatever it is. But overall, I did enjoy the match. Yeah, I enjoyed the match. The table spot, cool. Probably could have done without it on a Wednesday night. And them getting up, I took issue with that. My concern going forward is that this is the standard now, Cody. Everything else has to. You can't top this for at least a month. You can't. Next week's match has to be 8 minutes. Let him get his hits in and get him out of here. But yeah, you can't top this at least for a month.
I think Cody is not gonna take it easy on himself. He said he's gonna go out there and kill it. But remember, not every AEW person has the same style. Jungle Boy has a particular style. But if he works, he's gonna work Ray Phoenix next week.
No,
the match is not.
No. It's
Mark Quinn.
Mark Quinn.
Oh, Mark Quinn.
Mark Quinn from Private Party.
Where did I hear Ray Phoenix? I swear I heard
Shivani goofed on commentary.
Oh, he messed up.
Yes, he did.
Okay.
That's Mark Quinn. That would have been
okay. So I think Mark Quinn could do some fun stuff, but yeah, that shouldn't be as good as this match. But like I said, depending on who's in there with him, he'll adjust. But if he's in there with somebody that, if he's in there with Darby or if he's in there with, somebody like that, he's going to try to tear the house down. I'm okay with it, man.
This match, this match was good, don't get me wrong. But the reason why I say that I didn't like it is not because the match was good. The problem with the match.
You liked it?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
But the reason why I say the match was bad is alluding to what you said, Chris. You raise the bar so high to start. Where do you go from there? Think about it. This looked like the freaking main event of WrestleMania, and it's a Wednesday night show on free cable TV with no audience, and you basically wasted a pay-per-view match. Both guys worked incredibly hard, and I like Jungle Boy. I think Jungle Boy's a star. And Cody Rhodes, I mean, just, notwithstanding that hideous tattoo that I just cannot look at because it distracts the hell out of me.
I hate the tattoo.
But
you could have got it anywhere else.
But the thing about it is that both guys worked really, really well. In the beginning, it was good chain wrestling. Cody then started working on Jungle Boy's leg, which is excellent wrestling. It's good stuff. They're telling a story. When Jungle Boy hit Cody with that tornado style DDT, I'm like, yo, the move looks cool. Please stop doing it. Nobody gets beat by it, and you should be dead when you get hit with a move like that. And everybody kicks out. Just stop doing it. Just find another way. Especially, you know, again, it's like, you know, all these moves that they're just devastating and should kill people are now transitional moves in wrestling matches. And it's not just AEW. Everybody does it. It's just everybody should stop doing it. They should put a little respect on these moves. I like the fact that Cody Rhodes got aggressive and he literally took Jungle Boy and he threw him onto Billy Gunn and Austin Gunn. Good stuff. I like the aggression. It's a title match. They're no friends. When the title's on the line, man, it's like, yo, listen, we can have a beer afterwards, but bell to bell, you better be ready. It's coming. So it's good stuff. Cody, when Cody got the color, he headbutted a wall. Although he's trying to headbutt Jungle Boy, why don't you just grab him by the hair and headbutt him? Why the hell would you even be anywhere near hitting your head on the wall? Cody's a smart guy. He's not dumb. Why would he do that? I understand it's for a color spot. But again, you don't need color in this match. You don't. Not necessary. It's the first match.
I think it was just I think he was really working Jungle Boy, and he had the advantage for the first half of the match up until that point. So I think that was just a transition to get Jungle Boy to get the advantage.
That's totally fine. I think
that was all.
This is what I would have probably done. This is what I would have probably done as a different spot. Maybe if Cody wanted to run into the wall, he probably want to hit him with an elbow or some kind of running spot, and he smacks his back to the wall and then knocks him down. He's not going to get color. That's not the whole idea of that. Or if he can run himself into the post.
Yeah.
Cody could sell that for a minute and then have Jungle Boy, selling, getting back up in the railway, and there's MJF. That interaction with MJF and Jungle Boy was perfect. That was whatever, 60 seconds, 75 seconds of glory. It was beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
It was just fantastic. You know, I'm always so upset that, you know, MJF is not on that show every single week, because he is, you know, like I said, I think he's the best.
He can't. Please no. I'll get sick of him. Please.
But what I'm saying is that with a guy like MJF, he's so good that, you know, I would love to see him all the time. Yeah, of course, if you see a person every week, you know, familiarity breeds contempt. So I understand that. Here's the thing, right? So Cody hits that delayed vertical superplex off the corner on Jungle Boy, and my man is bleeding buckets. How's that possible? If you're picking a guy up, let's say Jungle Boy weighs, 200 pounds, and Cody's holding him up in the air for what, good 10, 12, 15 seconds, whatever it was, and he should be pouring blood. My man should be passing out.
Nah. I've never seen anyone pass out from bleeding in wrestling history. I don't want to see it now.
I guess you haven't seen the Stone Cold Bret Hart match from WrestleMania 13. Go check it out on the
That's
WWE.
different.
I know.
He was done after that. That was the finish.
But what I'm saying is that he shouldn't be able to have that much balance to be able to hold them up so perfectly to look like he wasn't hurt. You know, that's really the point of that. It's a matter of, look, and then when you fall, he didn't sell it either. Like, you got to sell like, oh, like it took it out of him, and it didn't. The table spot, again, why the hell is there a table set up at ringside? Announcers aren't sitting on it.
He set it up. Cody set it up.
He set it up. A few little heel tactics.
Okay. So
Cody, what's going on?
And to your point, Chris, I wrote this. I said, Cody must be Superman because he's bleeding, fell on a table from the top rope to the floor, and he sold nothing.
He is Superman.
Yeah. And he sold nothing.
Top babyface in the company.
In the business.
Again, the fact, I like the fact that Cody beat Jungle Boy with the crossroads, and it looked really intense and devastating. The problem was that after the table spot, both guys should have been dead. So there was no need for him to hit that move. I don't like the fact that they took the bow at the end, because it's basically like, hey, applaud everybody. It's a performance art. No, they could have both shaken hands. They could have both
way to take a bow. Yeah,
they could have both shaken hands. Jungle Boy leaves. Cody holds the title. There's no need for Brandy and RN and QT Marshall and the You know, in the Jurassic Express, there's no need for them to be at ringside. None.
Yeah.
There's no need for that. Zero.
Not on a Wednesday night.
No, zero. There's no need for that at all. That's just way too much. And the thing about it is like, again, it was a fun match. It was a good match, and I enjoyed it. The thing about it was way too much for Cody's first defense. If he's trying to establish like, hey, all my matches are gonna, it's like, dude, listen, if you're gonna be doing all these matches on free TV and you want to have pay-per-view quality, because guess what? The match that you're gonna have next week against Mark Quinn is gonna be like a fart in church by comparison to the one you had, this past week on AEW Dynamite. So what I'm saying is that temper these things and build them, because if you start this high, then you're gonna be like, all right, I'm gonna start right here to tell you that these matches are gonna be kick ass, and then I'm gonna start with Mark Quinn, and then we're gonna have something slower, and then I'll wrestle XYZ guy, and then I'll just keep building it back up.
I think he can do it, and we've seen it before. John Cena, U.S. title open, whatever you call it, the Invitational. He must have had 40 consecutive great matches on television. It felt like everyone he worked with, Cesaro, he got so many people over. These were pay-per-view quality matches.
Yep.
And this is where the fans should have really started to appreciate John Cena, because he proved, I'm having everyone's best match during this U.S. title thing. He had everyone's best match.
And here's
if you didn't know who these people were, you know them now because of those matches they were having with Cena.
Absolutely true, but here's the difference. The difference is with those matches that Cena had, obviously WWE is going to put some limitations on the matches, but you didn't see blood, you didn't see all the gimmicks, you didn't see all this other stuff that Cody used in the match. That's what I mean by it's too much. They could have had a fantastic back and forth match, not need the color, not need the table, not need any of that stuff.
But Lou, remember, look.
They don't need it.
You say that Cody doesn't, yes, he doesn't need it, but those are some of his tools in his toolbox. He likes to use that. Cena didn't use color, but Cena rarely uses color. Cena used everything in his toolbox in those matches. He did these like almost Canadian Destroyer, whatever. What do you call that? That freaking weird sunset power bomb, whatever that shit is.
It's gross. I hate it when he did that.
Cena
he did all his moves. Springboard stunners.
Of course. He did all those.
Every John Cena move, all 12 of them, whatever you think, people used to make fun of him. He used a lot more than that during those matches.
Of course. But again, it's a matter of the context, meaning that match could be a main event anywhere. But the thing is that those matches were left that if they needed to have a rematch, there's a place for them to go. That's the difference. After this match with Jungle Boy, it almost seems like it felt like the finality of like a long-standing rivalry, and it was just basically a one-off match for the TNT title. Mm-hmm. I'm not, that's the thing about it, is that sometimes with these things, even though you have it in your toolbox, and if Cody likes to use the tables and the gimmicks and the outside interference and all these other things, and he wants to use them, he can't use them in every match. Sometimes you have to be able to scale it back. And it's not for the sake of, my match is not going to be as good. No, these guys are pros. They know what they're doing. The thing about it is that you have to find a different way to tell a different story, because ultimately, if you're going to do this every single week, you can't really start with the bar so high that then, with all due respect, next week's match against Mark Quinn is going to look like a major letdown by comparison. Because
I think that might be on purpose to highlight Jungle Boy. It could be to highlight Jungle Boy.
They have intentions to make Jungle Boy a big star.
I'm more concerned with. Go ahead, Vic. What you say?
No, I was saying that Jungle Boy is, to them, somebody who's going to be a big star, and they want to give him big moments, even though he's young. And I don't think this. I mean, yes, it felt like a blow off, whatever, but it doesn't, because this is not the best version of Jungle Boy. It's not. This is Jungle Boy, version 1. When we get 31-year-old Jungle Boy and he has a match with Cody, it's probably going to be 10 times better than that, because he's going to get better. He's only going to get better.
Listen, I agree. It's just a matter that, again, if you're going to do weekly TV matches, you could have done this match a completely different way and gotten the exact same result, the same type of match, minus the juice and minus the table.
I think without the table,
And even
I'm good. It's a great match.
Even with the color, because I understand that with the color it was designed and Jungle Boy, fired up because he's really like, oh, I could really win this match, but I guess it's just like, if I had to pick one, I would take the juice over the table. But again, it just kind of seems like things are unnecessary. Like you don't necessarily need those components to make it work. Especially for a title that is going to be defended every week on TV. Like I said, I don't think that I would want the first match that Cody comes out in the series to look like the main event of WrestleMania, and then have everything else look like your basic TV match, moving forward.
I don't think he's going to do that either. It depends on the week, and Cody is the master of switching up styles. He does not have the same match every week. I don't think he's had the same match twice. He hasn't had the same finish. He pretty much changes everything on every match. Yes, it's the same moves. Like I said, everyone has the same moves in every match, but the stories are always different for him. He sells a different body part or something else, or gets color or he doesn't always get color. But remember, Cody wants to give you the old school Southern wrestling. You're going to get Dusty Style. You're going to get Ric Flair. They bled every night. They tried to give you Flair gave you a 60-minute Iron Man match every night.
Of course,
and got color and had a red wig, and people loved it. And I have faith. He's not gonna get color every week, of course not. But if he can help elevate some of these guys, and he's gonna. I know Cody. I paid close attention. He's been my favorite guy, probably going on 2 years. Definitely since Ring of Honor. Since his last couple months in Ring of Honor, since the Nick Aldis stuff, the All In right before that build up, I was like, this guy's incredible. He's the right guy for this situation. AEW is gonna, they're trying to make this belt seem important, and I'm okay with great matches. Like give me all you got. And you got to prove that you can make it better the next time.